All right, everybody, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Mr. Hustle. Hustle, welcome to the Gamer Life podcast, my dude. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm ecstatic to be here. Thank you for having me. This was an unexpected call. Let me tell you that I did not know that my appearance on the international podcast would lead into other opportunities. So I just want to say first and foremost, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for joining us, and I'm super grateful and I'm humbled to actually be here. I do appreciate it, Johnny.
Hell yeah, no, it's my pleasure, man. It was nice having you on. It's not often that Karak shuts up for a significant amount of time. So it was a measure of, you having input and us kind of clicking in the conversation. So yeah, it was, again, like a natural thing for me to ask you on, and thanks for doing this, dude. So how's your day lining up? Everything good on your end?
Oof, busy day.
Yeah.
What we talked about before.
Yeah.
I'm doing that, and then doing the other thing. I'm gonna run to the Ubisoft thing, and then run back out to handle the other thing that we spoke about earlier.
You got a
and
bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to stream Ratchet and Clank like 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna try. I can't make no promises, but I'm definitely gonna.
That looks very good. I'm gonna check it out today as well, for sure.
I've seen enough gameplay to be convinced. I had a good friend of mine, Jack-Move8, who those you who may know, who may not know him. He streamed it a little bit yesterday, and like the fidelity mode looks phenomenal on stream.
Yes.
The performance mode with the ray tracing looks even, well, I ain't gonna say better, but it takes a small hit, but it's a hit that you wouldn't notice. Like
the fluidity, right, of it, it's worth it.
Yes, indeed. So that I'm planning on the performance and ray trace mode for sure.
So for people who don't know you, give us a quick primer. Who's Hustle, and what's the reasoning behind the name Hustle&Motiv8?
I'll answer that second part first. The reason behind my name Hustle&Motiv8, God bless the dead, Nipsey Hussle. He came out with an album called Victory Lap, but I had known about Nipsey Hussle since 2009 from the Lloyd Banks double mixtape called the Happy Birthday mixtape 4/30/2009. He had a song called Me and My Strap. So I always liked the way that he rapped, but I wanted a name to like represent like who I was and everything that I stood for. Because my name before this used to be like Gemini Deuce, but I'm not a Gemini. And I think I even spelled Deuce wrong because the proper spelling was taken and I didn't want to throw an extra E. So I was just like, well, let me just get something that like defines me.
Yes.
So you'll always see me around everywhere. Like for people in our community, and Kirk wouldn't know the people that he interacts with in our community. I'm just as relevant there as he is too. So it's like you'll see me all the way around. And in terms of motivation, I want to push other people to do whatever it is that you want to go do. Like certain people like Eric Cuts for the Winning Jack Move, Johnny, Glorious Kev, how they pushed me to actually start YouTube and Twitch and streaming in general. So I really just want to have a name that's like the emphasis of who emphasis of who I am, and I really want to find a way to give back. So every time you hear Hustle, like now it's like you're gonna always think of me now. Like
after, like, it works.
Yeah.
It's a funny subconscious thing where you kind of associate, as you said, the word hustle with you in this case. So, and funny in chat says you got the perfect radio voice. You do have a nice radio voice. That's true, man. And that you also have an electro voice microphone, which is a great, just overall like broadcast microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Indeed. I used to have the the Shure SN7B.
Yes.
I used to have that one. A friend of mine needed it, and I wanted to. Well, this was kind of a downgrade in my opinion, but that microphone, I love it. It's just too quiet for me. And I was just always like super low. Like, so my streaming settings will be different from my YouTube settings. So it was like this time it isn't as bad, but it's just the thing that I had to deal with.
Yeah.
But I love that microphone too.
It's a very gain hungry mic, and the electro voice is, I would say, it's equally good, but it's more clearly geared towards just speaking, whilst the Shure also has a response that works for singing and stuff like that. So it's, you could do other stuff with the Shure that maybe you can't do with the electro voice, but for what you're doing, the electro voice captures really well this kind of bassy voice that you have. So I think it was a great choice actually of Mike. And
absolutely.
And dude, your setup looks great. I was checking out some of your videos and I was like, so I dig it. So you got an arcade in the back. What do you got going on there? You got a ton of stuff. Yeah.
But that's Marvel superheroes. I almost said Marvel versus Capcom. That's
Oh,
the
hell
other
yeah.
one that I want to get. That's the other one that I'm gonna get. But that's Marvel superheroes and Children of the Atom and not Max Payne. Nick Fury. Is it Nick
Gotcha.
Fury? I think it's the Nick Fury is on there too. So I got that. The picture that you can't see behind me, like right behind me,
Yeah.
not the banner, but the picture is the Persona 5 picture with Anne, and I bought that off Redbubble. So I just wanted to
Nice.
decorate it a little. And the banner that you see behind me is the legendary Cup of Noodles, who is a Twitch streamer herself. She is probably one of the dopest and coolest streamers outside of yourself and outside of ACG. And for you guys who I haven't had the opportunities to meet just yet, who I haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, but she's super dope. I found her through my brother actually, but she's like one of the most funny and charismatic people like who I've seen on Twitch so far.
Yeah. So I want to talk a bit about your content because I watched some videos and I had some like questions, thoughts, and stuff. I just like talking with people who do this kind of stuff because you don't typically get to talk details about this kind of thing because most people don't care if they're not doing it, right? So, but before we go into it, I wanted to ask, like, what got you into this game? You mentioned a few people that kind of motivated you to get started, but is there like, I guess, what's your goal? What is it? What is in it for you in this kind of content creation world?
Well, if I am going to become an influencer, I want to do just that. There's a lot of I want to make sure I put this lightly. I want to make sure that everybody gets their fair opportunity. So the second I'm in position to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to shine and be great, I'll make sure I'll do that first. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to just doing while I'm here, literally just having fun. I know I mentioned this on just a tip. Like a few of my like best friends that I found through gaming, and I found through like Gears 5. So when you see me around Eric Cuts for the Win, Merc 305, when you see me around all these great people, like I found them through gaming. If it wasn't for my YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't even know who they are.
Yeah.
So that's just like it's probably one of the benefits. In terms of other things that I want, there are long-term like goals that I want to achieve. I want to hit 1,000 subs. I want to start reviewing games. I like, Carrick. I kind of want to. He kind of put a bug in my ear. I kind of want to start doing that. If I find myself in a position to, like, we've seen other YouTubers and other Twitch streamers like interview Phil Spencer or be put in that position. So if I can do that type of thing, that'll be great too. Just so we can. I want to change things up a little bit. Everybody seems the same. I think one thing that you can always get with me is that I'm always going to be myself. And I'm a tad bit different from a Lower Cognito, from a Lord Addict, from yourself, from ACG. Everybody might be a little different, but I think I stand out the most from everybody else, given my background and where I'm from and everything.
So tell me a bit about that. But actually, I'm gonna match you with some glasses here, so we're rocking in style, both of us. Very good.
That's right.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the background, because I do get from you that you're authentic and you got something unique going on. But what is it that I guess kind of gives you that? Was it like your upbringing?
But yeah, I would like to say that. But I'm from Washington D.C. I don't know if your viewers are from the States, but if they are from the States, DC back in the 80s wasn't necessarily the nicest place. But I was born in DC and raised out here in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, just that alone actually does set me apart from everybody else, just from the brand of music that we listen to, from the style of dress, even from the way that we speak to one another. Our dialogue is a lot different from, let's say, someone from New York or someone from Atlanta or someone from LA. Yeah, I mean, so the dialogue itself is different. And I'm actually going to start incorporating more dialogue, more of my hometown dialogue into the actual videos that I do. I only didn't do it at first just because I didn't want people to be confused. So I just didn't, I just didn't want to throw anybody off too much. But
do you mean like if you drop some slang that people don't get or something? Yeah.
100%. Man, we have a style all our own, and you can even tell like by my accent where I'm from. I've had people from Memphis Atlanta, so on and so forth. But like, oh yeah, you sound like you're from DC, or you sound like you're from Maryland. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's just that's like one of the great things about being from where I'm from. I know you see me in the LA hat and you see me in like
Hell yeah.
Nipsey Hussle stuff, but I just like the way it looked. But that's just me. But no, my style is different all its own, and that's kind of is going to be the thing that sets me apart from everybody else. I look forward to just executing that too.
Yeah. So I was watching your stuff, right? And so I have a few thoughts to share as kind of an outside perspective. And then I want to hear from you if some of that is like deliberate or if you've thought about it. Because I think it's always interesting to hear this kind of feedback. And we actually rarely get it because a lot of people are afraid to give feedback. A lot of people are afraid to receive it. But I take from you that you're quite open to talk about this stuff. So the first thing, I don't have a list or anything, but now that I'm thinking back, watching you have this kind of body language. So I've kind of studied charisma, persuasion, and that kind of thing. And one big thing that you learn there is like body language, right? Like what you do with your hands when you speak, what you do with your body. Of course, we're sitting down, so we're not fucking Steve Jobs or anything, but there is something you do with your hands. I don't know if you've noticed, which is this thing. So for people just listening, you bring your hands to your chest. Yeah. And I saw that and I thought, yo, that's cool because that's like, yo, I'm saying this from the heart kind of thing, right? That's what it transmits. And almost like also like being humble as well. So there's it's kind of a cool body language thing that you have that works really well because you use it when you're saying something that you want to drive home. Like, it's maybe you're saying something that's your opinion. So you're saying, it's my opinion. So you're both being respectful, but you're also showing that it's authentic. And so I thought that was a really cool body language thing that you have.
Thank you.
And I just so you know, I'm going to steal that from you. So when people see me do that, they will know that's from Hustle. But I want to hear from you.
That's so good.
Is that something you've thought about or just kind of comes naturally to you as a gesture?
It's always been like that. I used to, for the people who don't know, I used to be like an extremely like shy kid. Just coming up. I mean, unless I knew you, then we acted a fool or whatever. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I really couldn't tell you. I think that probably comes from my professional life. Maybe I would, if the furthest memory that I can probably pinpoint the way I started doing that. I think I was trying to open up an account or something. And I think I said we wanted you to be a part of our family or something of that nature. It was. I know it was something that definitely happened when I was there at work. So it was. If I had to pinpoint that back, maybe I did it before and I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to say the earliest memory, and I must have been like 21 or something. But that's probably the earliest that I can pinpoint that. It's just when I first started like really public speaking. I think maybe that's when a lot of that picked up. And maybe around 21, 22 years old. I had no idea. What's up?
No, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I had no idea that, we mentioned this on Just the Tip, but on the international podcast. And I had no idea that like the work stuff would translate over. Like would translate over into the YouTube.
So interesting, man. No because I think this is what really makes a good streamer or like video creator or whatever, is that richness of background and skills that you wouldn't suspect build into, making a video or go or kind of propel your content in any way. But there's so many like micro skills you pick up on different things. And like you said, the speaking thing is a big one. Like when we speak to a crowd or even if it's just a few people, we learn what works and what doesn't, don't we? Mm-hmm. Because trial and error. So when you started, and we can talk a little bit about your professional life if you want. I remember from the ACG podcast, you talked about, how you dealt with groups and you were kind of in charge of things a little bit. So for you, when you spoke with people, right? If something didn't work out, like if you were trying to say something and people weren't receptive to it, you would have to change the way you said it next time, right? To try to get a better result. So over time, you kind of get this kind of persuasion antics of like stuff that works. And ultimately that can be translated into, like I said, body language and how you try to get points across and things.
Yes. Oh, and the sometimes I may have tried to tell a joke and it kind of landed super flat, because at that point you're dealing with not only adults around my age, but much older adults who are first going into the government at that point. So it's one of those things, and it is a trial and error thing. Just like with the YouTube thing, it's a trial and error thing. You can't be afraid to fail.
Yes.
On any like level. And maybe that's why I learned that too. And maybe and I know for a fact that fuels the YouTube and the Twitch thing, because I know for a fact that I'm not afraid to try something new, something different, and we'll see what the results are.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
gonna stick with it. Or,
it kind of feels, yeah, it kind of feels like it's, you know what they say about writing a book? You don't just write a book. First, you have to do a whole bunch of interesting things, and gain some expertise in some stuff, and then you're in a position where you can kind of write a book, because you got some stuff to talk about, right? You're not going to be like, a 15-year-old person who hasn't really lived through much. You're not going to write a book. You're going to live through some shit, and then you'll write a book. I feel it's the same thing for YouTube. For people who get into it too young, some of them have really interesting backgrounds and cool stuff, of course, but I feel like for me, it's much more interesting someone who clearly has kind of been through some shit, has experienced many different perspectives and kind of culture bounces and things like that as well in life. I think it really, you can kind of tell when people have that richness in background and that diversity of skill sets and things like that. So the other thing, looking at your content, that I was thinking about is how you do the transitions. So for people, again, people can check you out. I'll leave a link again here. Can check out all your stuff there through Twitch, and then follow on to YouTube and all that. So in YouTube, right, your videos have this style of transition that's a fade transition. So let's say you're speaking, and then you have some game footage coming in. There's like, a 1 second fade or something, right? It's an interesting style. And I wonder if you've thought about something like doing an instant cut, because what could work really well is if you time the cut to a word. So let's say you're in the middle of a sentence, right? And there's a word in the sentence that directly reflects the footage you're about to show. The moment you say that word, you cut to the footage. There's this kind of snappiness that comes from that I personally like as a style. So I'm just giving you now my opinion, right? Like my style, I guess, choice or preference.
Sure.
To share with you some thoughts, because I feel like sometimes getting these ideas can help you like find your style, because I don't know how much you've thought about this kind of thing, but that was one thing I noticed looking at your videos, that sometimes it works really well, the transition, because it's very smooth and it fits with your, kind of the tone of your voice, which is, quite well paced and chill, right? So that works. But there are times when I think, a quick snappy cut is pretty powerful when you time it on, the beat of the word you're saying and that kind of thing. It's almost like rhythmic, if that makes sense.
Oh no, 100%. It's I'm so used to doing like the fade in, fade out. It's just that I didn't know how to. I just kind of didn't know how to do it. But I mean, I'll definitely keep that in mind. If it's something as simple as just me having the clip and me saying, snap my fingers or something, who knows, right? If it's something as simple as just me having that clip there without fading it in, because I just always thought the fade looked better. But if it doesn't, or not if it doesn't look better, but if it works better just having that actual clip pop up like that, then yeah, of course, I'm definitely willing to try that out. As far as like the style of how I even developed it in the first place, a lot of people used to, and myself too, a lot of people used to do voiceover videos and they wouldn't be on camera.
Yes.
That may work for them, but for me personally, that doesn't kind of. Now I want you to see me. I like legit want you to see me, and not only that, like I really want to just talk and do my thing, and I want it to be as smooth as possible. But I definitely want everybody to see who Hustle is, like, because a lot of people who I do follow, and who I used to follow, like Cole Eastwood. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is. I follow him for a long time, but he finally decided to hop on camera like 3-4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
After years of doing YouTube, so I'm like, yeah, people want to see you. People want to get connected to the actual personality because, like, if we being real, when it comes to the news videos, people can get that news from anywhere. People can go to Info-G or whatever it is and go read everything that they want to go read and be just as caught up as you are. That's not a problem. But people really want to, like, even with streaming, like, people want to see the person play whatever game. Yeah, they 100%, just, that's what that's about. So, yeah, but no, I'll try the I'll definitely try your way.
Experiment with it and let me know how you feel about it.
Sure thing. Actually, I guess I can announce it now, but I figured after the Square Enix conference Sunday, I'm gonna start working on the Kenna video that I'm gonna drop on Tuesday. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but they did they had Ember Lab Studios for like the IGN special or whatever it was that they had.
Yeah.
And they were going over the game a little bit. They had like a 6-minute cliff. Khalif Adams, shout out to him. He had actually did like the whole entire hosting of that event.
Yeah.
He did a really good job too. But they had that whole event, and I took a look at it this morning. So I, downloaded the video, and I'll take whatever parts I want to take. But I'm gonna do a quick little overview of it because I'm definitely looking forward to that game. In fact, that game is already paid for. I paid for that when I paid for Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely can't wait.
Yeah, man. So with that, if you want, let's talk a little bit about E3, which starts today, right? So we have some the first kind of big ones. We have Ubisoft later, Guerrilla Games, and I think Devolver as well. So is there anything you're looking forward to in E3 that you're kind of hoping, expecting to see?
Wait, Devolver Digital's today?
Dude, I think it's after Ubisoft.
Okay.
We'll have to check later. Yeah. Shit, because that's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm about to say that conference is always good. Yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to. I want to see Beyond Good and Evil 2 because I just saw like a tweet or something.
Yes.
They said it's excuse me, it's still early in development.
But whatever dude, show us something, right? Give us a little taste.
Yeah, I don't want to see Joseph Lorden. Excuse me.
No worries,
You have
man.
to forgive me. You have to forgive me. I don't want to see Joseph. I don't want to see Homeboy from Third Rock from the Sun on stage no more. I don't want to look. Because y'all said it was early in development when they first showed it. All right, cool. I've been keeping up with the developer diaries, and this is the prequel to the first game. So I'm gonna get into it. And I got the first game on PC. So I said I was gonna wait to play that game. And look, I might as well play that game because this game might not come out for quite some time. But I'm looking forward to what they'll show there. Every time that we talk Ubisoft, what we normally talk is Splinter Cell, and it's rumored. It's rumored by I would say people who I trust, people who I definitely do trust, as far as Lord Cognito, Randolph Thor, a few of them, that something may be happening big with that franchise.
Okay.
And it looked like it might be coming back. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote them on it either. It's just stuff floating around. Y'all know how I get when E3 time rolled around. Everything rumors is just pulled out the sky. They just pulled out everywhere. So
yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see something regarding Sam Fisher again.
Hell yeah.
I definitely I want to see Splinter Cell again. Hopefully it comes back. And hopefully it comes back in its own franchise, not in some type of free to play. I was the most disrespectful. Oh my god!
Come on, man. What are we doing?
That was extremely disrespectful, man. Oh my god. But let's see what else. Wait, what else is going on? You said Ubisoft.
Well, let's talk Ubisoft a little bit then.
Okay.
What are your feelings on Far Cry 6? Are you excited for that?
Not especially, but here's one thing that I will give them credit for, right? Regardless if they use the same assets for the different games.
Yes.
The one thing that they can do is get you hooked on a villain. The last time I was on on with you, one of the things I said about Persona 5 in particular was that the fact that I wanted to fight Kamoshida so bad. Now,
dude, what a piece of shit. Yeah, we have to talk about Persona 5 too. God damn it.
Oh, for sure. No, but one of the things that Ubisoft makes you feel in their trailers is like the hatred toward the antagonist.
Yes.
Like so I always give them credit for that. I'll try it on PC, but Ubisoft and PC, my PC, and I have a pretty decent rig. 21 what I got in there. The 2080 Ti, and I got like a pretty decent 6 score 12 3, 8700K in there.
Yeah.
But it's you know what that means? That just means I can only play at that 1440p at high settings, man. Like their games are so demanding, but no, I'll definitely try it out. It's something that I'm kind of looking forward to, and I kind of hope they hit it out the park with this one too. I hope they do.
Yeah, let's do a brief parenthesis on Persona 5 because I also really liked that game. I never fully finished it, but it was interesting how it did make you feel stuff. Like feel strongly about some of the characters. Like you mentioned Kamoshida, the guy that abuses, kids in the volleyball team. And it's also such an unfortunately accurate reflection of Japanese culture when it comes to like high schools and academia, where, if you are someone who has some kind of status. So for him, he was a volleyball kind of star player, right? And teacher and stuff. So he was untouchable, right? Within the school system. And it's one of those super kind of nasty things that feels like it could be based on a true story as well. So I think that's why it hits home so hard. And to me, that maybe that's the what would you call the boss or the enemy, the villain that I thought was like the worst when it comes to, the lowest scum out of all the others. But he comes first, right? So the game starts with that. It's like boom in your face. But for you, was that like the main villain that kind of made you feel a certain way in the game?
He definitely was. Now I'm halfway through it. Now, if you once you get to Futaba's part, that's gonna hit you a tad bit different. I don't know. Have you made it that far?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's gonna hit you a tad bit different.
Yeah,
and that'll actually
it probably
teach you
depends, right? Like what kind of stuff you've been through. If you've been through something like that, then it will touch a fiber for sure.
Yeah, and I had a few good friends, a few of my troubleshooters, like tell me about that. It was like, it's like once you get the Futaba part, it's gonna change. I said, all right. And now we know how important. I hope I say his name right. Now we know how important Sohoro is. Right. And because I used to think, oh my god, wait, can we curse on here?
Yeah. This is all public. This is plus 18 plus, so you're fine.
Okay, cool. I used to think Soldier Roll was a dickhead. Like when he was like, well, I'm taking you in and I ought to kick you out.
Why
right
are you
now?
being a dick, man?
Like,
exactly. What?
I'm like, come on, man. Like I tried to do the right thing. Is joking. He tried to do the right thing, and well, we all know what happened. But yeah, so when you find out that he's actually taking care of Futaba as well, and she won't leave her room, and it's like you find out why she won't leave her room and the type of demons and self-doubt that she's going through, like that's gonna hit you. That'll definitely hit you different, man. But yeah, that's probably one of the highlight. Well, it's a ton of highlights in that game.
Yeah.
Character design, enemy design. I love the art style of it.
Yeah, it's so striking.
Yeah, it's definitely different. If you guys haven't played it, I would say wait until the Xbox conference tomorrow. Quite possibly, there's another rumor floating around about a certain franchise.
Oh, wait, no. What's the rumor?
Well, he said it publicly.
Can you drop it?
The Persona 5 may be coming to Game Pass. Might be. Let me say might be, because I am not an insider.
Shit.
All I know is I follow. I don't even know if I want to say his name. I'm a typing in the Discord chat. I'm gonna type it there. I know that he's been making subtle references to Persona coming to Game Pass, and that's somebody who I'll just say that's somebody who works Windows Central. I mean, it's not hard to figure out, and he said it publicly too. It's just that when he says that, I'm listening. Yeah. Like, okay. So
dude,
if you haven't played
that would be huge if it drops for people who haven't been able to play it on.
Yeah, it's gonna have that Yakuza effect because a lot of people are loving Yakuza who couldn't play, and their complete library is in there now. So,
shit,
hey,
dude,
all the personas in there.
Hell yeah,
all in there.
So last question, because I said this was a brief parenthesis. Who was your waifu of choice in Persona 5? This is very important, right?
Yeah,
this is like friendship defining.
Okay, well, I think we're gonna be beefing, but Lady Anne for me.
No, disaster.
I know. I
No,
knew
it's
what
fine. It's
reaction that
fine.
was gonna
And
get.
it's okay.
My favorite though, she's my favorite, but the best waifu is the doctor, whose name I can't quite remember at the
Oh yeah,
moment.
yeah, the
Is
edgy doctor. Yeah, I like her too.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's probably the best one. My favorite one is Lady Anne. I'm sorry, man. It's a whole lot.
You know
She's
what the problem is, man?
misunderstood. What's
One,
up?
she seems very shallow to me, but two, she's being shoved into you like, hey, romance this character. So my rebel side was like, no, I want to choose. So I chose Makoto, the
Ah.
kind of smart. No, what are you doing? Why would you be disappointed with that? She's smart, hot.
Okay.
Okay, look,
All
man,
right.
it's fine. We don't have to like the same butts. So good.
You and this Makoto character. Shout out to my boy Eric Empire, who's part of the troubleshooters. My man Alton, who has his own podcast and everything. Like everybody, Makoto. Even Lord Addict was like, oh, Makoto, I like her. What's wrong with y'all?
It's the right choice. I mean,
it's overwhelming at this
listen,
point, though.
it's so good. It's so good.
Everybody keeps saying Makoto. Nah, I'm with you on that.
It's almost like there are two teams. I think those are the two most popular for sure. And
absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. But okay, so let's go back to E3 because we were talking E3. So
okay.
So we kind of talked about Ubisoft. I think their main thing is going to be Far Cry 6. I don't think there's a ton more unless we see some Splinter Cell news. What else is there that you're excited for? Oh, so Guerrilla, Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Are you into that?
Yes, and I actually think we're getting announced a release date. Wait, Guerrilla's today?
Guerrilla's today, dude. Yeah. I
think
I was trying to get the time right, but I think it's 11 your time. 11 a.m. your time.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do my best to go ahead and check that out. But if I'll catch a recap. I think we get a release date today.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be dope.
I think they purposely held back on it just to stay in the news cycle. And you remember when they first showed the game and everything, and people were talking about Aloy's looks, this, that, and the third.
Oh, dude.
But first of all, yeah, man,
get out of here with that silliness, man.
Oh man,
what are we doing?
Like
you may not like, like I may say, it's not my taste. Like, I don't like that look. But say like, oh, your video game should look, and it's the creator's vision, right? They wanted to create her like that. So I just don't understand why people have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure when that gentleman took the time to remake Aloy in his vision or whatever the case may be.
To them, there was some reason there. They wanted that kind of design.
I think he thought that post was going to hit on Twitter for all the right reasons, and boy, did it not.
It didn't.
That thread was oh my god, that thread was crazy. I said, oh no, he was getting destroyed, but he'll be all right. I mean, look,
you can't win if you do something super feminine with makeup. People would shit on you for that. If you do something like it. You just
literally It literally shouldn't have mattered. Like,
I think the main thing is like change, because the moment you change something people know and love, they're like, change, right? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's okay, right? It's a video game. We'll survive.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to that game is because it reminds me of my second favorite Naughty Dog franchise, Uncharted. Like, it gave me a lot of Uncharted vibes, the way Aloy was talking back to the enemies and this, that, and the third, when she threw whatever type of bomb that was, or she shot whatever type of bomb that was into that elephant or whatever that was, and the bodies got to flying out. It definitely put me in the mind frame of Uncharted Lost Legacy and Uncharted 4. Lost Legacy is my favorite game of last generation, favorite single player game.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I was like, okay. I said, all right. And because my homegirl, Erica's for the Win, she did a live reaction to it. And she was like, this is kind of like Uncharted. Because we must have been hanging around each other for a long time. Because I typed it in the chat. I was like, yeah, this is definitely Uncharted. So I'm looking forward to that. And in the first Horizon Zero Dawn, Aloy was kind of an outcast. So now she's out west. So I'm interested to see how she's going to be treated. She'll be treated differently, more than likely, because she's away from the encampment of which she originally was from. Yeah. And by her going out west, I want to see how other people treat her.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if tribes there share the same customs, and as you say, how they treat her. because she's had this arc of kind of establishing herself. So now I want to see if it kind of reverts back to not being accepted or the opposite. So that will be an interesting, interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of the things that I'm looking forward to. The underwater combat, as far as and I'll stop with the Horizon Forbidden West stuff. They haven't shown it. Hopefully, if Gorilla does have something, maybe they show some type of underwater combat, even if it's just like a stealth thing, because you can't do but so much underwater.
Right.
So even if it's just a stealth thing, because she can breathe underwater permanently. She can always breathe underwater now.
She had a thingy, right? She had a thingy magic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the developers that came out and confirmed that too. So I want to see if they can, either she can take control of the animals and ride the animals underwater like Yoshi, like she can do on land, or maybe she can just disable them.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
I hope they get that right, because in so many games the water levels are the worst ones. It's a meme. Nobody likes water levels. So I hope they get it right. We'll see. Suit Up was asking, going to replay Uncharted on PC when it comes over. What about you, Hustle? Have you played Uncharted? Those games?
Yes. Like I said, I beat Lost Legacy. I'm like halfway through 4, and I'm like halfway through 2. But yeah, for sure. When those games come to PC, oh boy, we eating good. So he must have saw though that rumored report that came out. I don't know if you remember, but there was a rumor, like a complete leak that happened. It was like a business report, a business meeting report that came out. So they said Uncharted 4 will be the first one to come over. Which is, I'm like, I wish it was the trilogy, but I guess they want to do 4 because of the multiplayer and stuff like that. But no, I'm definitely copping that. Like that's not a question. That's day one. I'm streaming that. I will find a point to stay. Yeah, that's day one.
Nice.
I got to.
Yeah. So the reason I was confused when you said Lost Legacy is because I was confusing it with something else. Lost Legacy was the like the portable version, wasn't it, of Uncharted?
No. No, you're thinking of Golden Abyss. That was on the PSP or PS Vita, I do believe.
Like an
Lost
older
Legacy
one.
Was Lost Legacy, which I think I got it here somewhere. Of course, I can't find it now. It doesn't matter. Of course. Lost Legacy, standalone DLC.
Oh, that was the DLC. Yes. That's the one I haven't played. And that was your favorite? Okay. So I need to play that. I need to check that out. Interesting.
Yeah, that
it came out. It was Uncharted 4 DLC, as Suit Up is saying, and I never got around to play it. Interesting.
Yeah. That's really good. It's really good.
That's a good excuse to play it when it comes to PC. Then I'll play the whole thing. Yeah.
I know, and I kind of wish they would have led with that one, but they didn't. Or I wish they would have included that one, but according to that report, they didn't. So,
shit,
I can't win them all, I guess. But Uncharted 4 is pretty good too.
Yeah.
A lot of people who I'm cool with, my Level 1 family, Fame in particular, he thinks that the game I just showed is better than Uncharted 4. I'm not gonna make that determination just yet.
But it's not is it a standalone game? Hustle?
Standalone. I say DLC, but you have to forgive me on my verbiage on that.
It's fine. It is like a standalone, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's longer than Spider-Man Miles Morales, just to give people like a frame of reference.
Yeah, it's an actual. It's not just like a couple missions. It's own thing.
No, it's a full-fledged standalone. It's around. I think it took me like 10 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 hours. But I'm pretty bad at games. But around that time, and
it's pretty good.
I love the way the story unfolds, and it's a lot of history that's there, and a lot of things pick up. That's why I want Uncharted 5 to actually continue that story, because it's a misstep if it doesn't. Like, yeah, that's cool. Nathan's daughter is Nathan's daughter, but there's no way you can have time advance that far to where this little girl is gonna be able to do what Chloe, Nadine, Sam, or Nathan did at that point. Yeah. So you gotta, even if you do, like, all right, you finish the story with them first, with Nadine and Chloe and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe you make time pass a little bit, and then maybe Nathan's daughter is old enough to where she can carry on tradition, so to speak. You have to figure it out, but but just don't bring Nathan out of retirement though. Like that would be a misstep, because you got the whole a thief's end. I mean, it's over. I mean, don't bring him back. Don't bring him back. It's over. It's
right.
Over.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be interesting to see how they do that. What else on E3 are you looking forward to? Anything from Square Enix that you like?
Not in particular. Like I said, I'm gonna be there just because my squad is there, or the squad is there, right? The
Yeah.
troubleshooters are there. Final Fantasy 16. I don't know.
Are
Have they
you a
shown that
Final
before?
Fantasy guy? No, they showed like a cinematic trailer for it in last year's E3, and that was about it.
Mm. Yes, yes. Okay, so that's why I thought I was lunching. I thought I was losing my mind. So I was like, well, that's the thing. No, am I a Final Fantasy guy? Final Fantasy 3 or 4, whichever one was on the Super Nintendo, which I have on my SNES Classic. I'll take that one for a spin. But
Uh-huh.
as far as that goes, and it's so weird to me, right? Because my second favorite game of all time is Super Mario RPG, and as you know, Square made that game.
Right.
Even though it was over 20 years ago, right? Square made that game too. So, but nah, I mean, it's just something I never really
So it
got into.
hasn't clicked with you, those type of
Nah,
games.
nah. I think I may pass on that. I'll watch one of y'all play it.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
I'm
fine.
cool.
I mean, that's pretty
Um,
much like you either like it or you don't at all, I would say. They're very
mm.
like a particular kind of game. So,
I wonder if they'll do. Speaking of Final Fantasy, I wonder if they're gonna do some type of Kingdom Hearts DLC if they haven't already done so.
yeah. Well, are you a Kingdom Hearts guy? You played those games?
No,
No.
no, but I like the Disney characters. That's about it. I do
That's
like the
true.
Disney
Yeah, I
characters.
think that's
Yeah.
what people love about them, right? It's the crossovers and like, oh, you're playing Pluto with fucking Hercules and you getting the whole gang together. Yeah, that's I think that's what's cool about them.
You know what? It's on Epic. Now, I ought to give it a spin just for the hell of it. Because I don't want to say I don't like something.
Right.
It's just that when those games came out, 'cause I'm 35, so when Kingdom Hearts first came out, I was a little too old for it. Like at that point, I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I figured it
Yeah.
was too kiddie, so I'm like, I was a little too old. So
Yeah, and catching up is so difficult. You need to watch a
mhm.
full like 1 hour
It's-
YouTube cinematic
it,
compilation.
it's especially with that game. Oh boy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh man, that the whole list of
Yeah. It's
is
like
Kingdom Hearts 1,
so
Kingdom
there's a
Hearts 2, Kingdom
princess
Hearts.
and like some it's like the whole thing, dude. It's jeez.
It's
What else is
and then you had
there?
to go on
Hmm.
but on E3
Yeah, I'm thinking
for
now
Square.
or
I
just
could
in
think.
general, was there any other games?
Well, I want to see Halo, but
Halo? Okay, yeah, we talked
we
about it
gotta.
yesterday as well. Are you a Halo
Yeah,
fan?
I'm not. I'm actually a Gears fan, and that's going to segue to me into my next point. But the Halo thing is important because that's Xbox's Mario.
Yes.
Um,
They
for people
need
who made
they need that kind of
they
push.
you gotta hit that out the
Yeah.
park. Like I don't care what it's going to take. And for the people who are getting to know me, they know I'm a Gears. I'm a Gears guy. Like I play
Yeah.
Gears. That brings me to the coalition. Now the coalition is rumored to be working on a different project. They were still working on Gears 5, and this is the last operation. I do believe Operation 7 was the last one that they're working on. Now it's rumored that they're working on something completely different, which I'm all for, by the way. I'm all for. They're going to be using Unreal Engine 5, and they've already mastered Unreal Engine 4. So
Damn.
by them
That new
making that
engine
go,
looks good, man.
yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. I want to see what the new project is. Hopefully, I mean, just pie in the sky there. I want them to maybe hit us with like some type of splash screen, or just somebody from the coalition come out and say, "Hey, we know y'all love Gears. We're gonna take a little break from that, right? But before we hit you with Gears 6, we're gonna hit you with this." And then they throw a splash screen, Metroid Prime 4 style, right? And
Yeah.
then people go crazy because I want to see them work on something else. I truly believe that they are creatively burnt out. One other idea, one other theory that was floating around is that, excuse me, that the coalition is working on another single player DLC for Gears, even after Have Busters. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's based around Horde this time. I'm not really sure. Like so I'm spitballing that idea
Yeah.
too.
I always
But
think,
it's,
those teams that they just kind of do the same game, right?
mhm.
It must be a bit stifling creatively because they have some very clear definitions of what the product is that they're making every time. So they can't really just say, you know what, I have this vision for this thing. No, you're making a Gears game. You need to hit all the bullet points for a Gears game. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always interested to see those teams kind of branch out a bit and do something different. Do you remember the team behind Assassin's Creed did Phoenix Immortals?
Oh,
Immortal
really?
Phoenix, yeah. So it's those guys
Really?
without the
Okay.
constraints. They're like, want to do something a bit different outside of the constraints of an Assassin's Creed game. Admittedly, it has a lot of similarities, but it's also its own thing, and you can tell they could kind of, paint outside of the lines a bit.
It's and the thing is, we've seen this type of thing work before, like even with the game you just mentioned, and when we just talked about it, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
Like, they were making Killzone before, and then they come over to this, and then they come over to Horizon. It's such a breath of fresh air at that point. So yeah, no, I definitely feel like they're being being stifled creatively. Like, and that is a real thing, man. Like, that's why, like, even when it comes to like making content, I'll switch it up every so often just because I don't want to get bored. Because I'm gonna start I'm phoning it in. Like, I don't want to. And y'all gonna be able to see that too. So I don't
you
want
gotta
people
keep
to
it fresh, right?
Yeah.
If you're not excited about it, then how can you expect the person watching to to get a kick out of it? Jonathan says they did Gears Tactics. Was it the same team, Jonathan? If so, then yeah, that's a good example of the Gears people doing something different. That was pretty good. I really like that style of games. And Gears worked surprisingly well with it.
But I think those games in general, those games in general seem to work pretty well. From XCOM to Gears Tactics, and I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the Metal Slug Tactics?
Dude,
trailer?
yeah, hell yeah.
I saw that. I was like,
man,
okay,
that's a classic. Metal Slug 3.
Yep.
Fuck, so good.
Yes, indeed. I actually brought. I can't because it's in my closet now. But I actually bought a fight stick just to give me that old school feel.
Nice.
I got metal. I think I got all of them on Steam. I think they came in a pack or it's just some type of pack they did. But I definitely was playing Metal Slug 2. Just
man, that's cool. There's some magic playing it with the buttons and stuff. Yeah.
Indeed, man. It got a little tiresome on my damn arms, but I mean, it's fun nonetheless though. But no, that's definitely a thing, man. As far as who made Gears Tactics, you have to forgive me. Wait a minute. Can I see it? Can I find it?
It doesn't matter if we don't know. That's okay.
Yeah, all right. That's okay, cool.
Suit Up says counterpoint would be CD Projekt Red from Witcher 3 franchise to Cyberpunk. So sometimes trying something new isn't always the best. No, I still think it's cool that they tried it. I wouldn't shit on them for trying it. I would shit on them for how they managed expectations and how they managed the release. But that's not so much on the dev team necessarily as it is the kind of organizational structure of the whole studio and, the higher ups and stuff. But I think that's about it for E3 that I'm kind of excited for. So we'll have to see. I'm hoping, my biggest hope, Hustle, is that they come out with something that's not in our radar and they just say, you know what, this is coming out today. And I'm always excited for those, like, this is out today, tomorrow to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice if we got the Cuphead DLC because we saw the movie or we saw like the television show get announced. It would be nice if we actually got the DLC we've been waiting on since 2018. So
exactly,
it would be nice. Before we move on, PlayStation is going to have their own separate event. So
yeah,
I mean, one of the things that I do want to look forward to from watching that is the fact that Naughty Dog is working on something. Well, they say Uncharted 5. But they also said they're rumored to be working on a new sci-fi IP. So if we probably won't get that, but like that would be nice. That's my favorite developer. So it's cool to hear whatever they're working on. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And I'm real quick. I did want to give Insomniac their credit because have you played Rift Apart yet?
Not yet. I'm starting today. But I did actually. I saw your video you did on Insomniac talking about. In preparation for Ratchet, you talked about their prior games, right? Sunset Drive and Spider-Man.
Yeah, it seems like, and I have a few good friends of mine who, excuse me, who were playing it yesterday. It seems like it hit the nail on the head on everything, probably except the story. But what type of story do you want from Ratchet and Clank? Is my question.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be something like Miles Morales, or it couldn't be something like that. But in terms of like traversal and weapons and everything like that, I think everything is gonna work itself out. And I've seen it, even a few people who I trust on Twitter. Oh, Insomniac is PlayStation's best studio. And I tweeted back, I said, hey, you say that until Naughty Dog drops Uncharted 5. So let's hold our horses, but I'm glad to see that they're really excelling and really shining. The Insomniac games is like the coalition. Like they pretty much put PlayStation on their back right now, and I love to see it. Like I literally love to see it, and I hope everybody can get their hands on the PS5 because this game isn't cross-gen.
Yeah.
And from what I saw yesterday, I'm glad it isn't because it's quick. It's quick. It's fast. There's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, so and it's gotta be smooth, snappy, fluid. Otherwise, it won't be the same. Yeah, it seems they got the movement nailed, right? Insomniac, their like world traversal movement and stuff is always super on point.
Indeed. I can't wait to play it. I might have to wait a little bit later on this evening, but I can't wait to play it, man.
So, dude, I'm now cognizant of your time. We've been going for about an hour. I want to talk a little bit about kind of mindset, motivation, that kind of thing, because, well, it's in your name, right? So hustle and motivate.
Yeah.
So I imagine, I get from you that that's something you're kind of a part of your message, I guess. But for you, what is it? I guess, how do you keep your motivation? What are there like habits you do that keep you on track and like refresh you? What do you do if you get burnt out? Do you have some kind of system for that?
In terms of what I do when I get burnt out, I do have a few people who I can reach out to. Cuts for the Win, Contraviction. There are a few people who I can speak to
Chat it out
behind the scenes. Yeah. But in terms of if I ever wanted to do something different, I don't really think I've ever encountered that problem because I've asked other people how they deal with it. But a lot of the other people outside of the people who I mentioned, of course, they just do like the news stuff. For me, I think one of the things that really pushes me and really motivates me, pardon the pun, is the fact that I really want to push other people to do this. And not only just this, like you can't, I tell people all the time, like you can't be afraid to fail. Like, yeah, sure, you're not going to be ACG, right? No, nobody's going to be ACG immediately. Right. And if you are going to be is that popular or successful, immediately you'll lose it just as quick. I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. Like, oh, if I'm not on this level, then I can't do it. No, you can do it. It's just going to take you a little bit more time to get to where you need to go. And that the journey is more important than the destination. Because in that journey, like, I wouldn't have told you that I would have been here when I first started YouTube back in 2018, back in December when I did that Super Smash Brothers video. Or even before that, when I did the Derrick Rose tearing his ACL video like 8 years ago. I'd have never told you. Like, I'd have never thought it. Like, I never would have pictured it. One of the things that I gotta push, because like I've been inspired by Eric Cuts for the Win, Jack Move, Johnny. The reason why I'll push the inspiration so hard is that you never know what you can do until you do it. Like, is point blank, period. I'd have never like told you, like I never would have. I'm not an audio engineer, but with all this stuff in my room, you would have figured like, yo, he must really know something about audio. And I've helped. Well, I can mention his name because he mentioned it on his podcast. But I've helped the Mooch, 1978. I've helped him with his audio setup. I've gone on different podcasts like, hey, lower this one, raise this one. If they got this type of mic, you got to raise them up a little more. So it's a dynamic mic. I'd have never thought in a million years that I'd be able to help people in that capacity either. Right. So it's just a lot like about the journey that I'm going through right now. Like the destination to be whatever it is, but the journey is way more important.
Yeah, it's the process, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, you got to trust the process. I know I'm not a Philadelphia 76ers fan, but you definitely got to trust the process. Don't be afraid to fail. Like I would say, don't try too hard because with my demeanor, I'm super laid back. Like it might not say because I'm not the Incredible Hulk type of. I'm super laid back, but always be yourself. You don't have to. You don't got a lot to kick it. You don't got to try too hard. People will accept you for you as long as you're not an asshole or nothing like that. Because there are a couple of ones who are running around, but as long as you're not on that type of time, like people can really feel like well, for me, people can really feel me. Even though I'm not the best at games, but people really feel me. And I think that's just one of the things that we gotta like recognize, right? And for real, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really wanted to uplift everybody who I'm around. Yourself included, by the way. Like I told you, like after the show, it's like, hey, if y'all got something, just hit me up. That's nothing. It's nothing. And I always try to live up to that. Like, yeah, now sure, am I spread a little too thin sometimes? Yeah, maybe. But that's my problem. I can deal with that. Like I've dealt with this type of thing before. And this actually goes back to work too. I used to be a supervisor. So it was, hey Ricky, we need you here. We need you here. We need you here. We need you. And I'm running around. Like running around.
Yeah.
Like with a chicken with my head cut off, but we getting everything done. And I feel like that now. Like a rising tide lifts all boats. I know this has nothing to do with nothing, but it was like a great moment for me to see Lord Addict and Cognito with ACG, and they were just on Defining Duke too. That was like a great moment for me to see, because me and Addict we kind of cool. Like that boy didn't help me out quite a few times, and it was just like it's a great thing to see that those gentlemen are finally getting their moment. We're all gonna have our moment at some point. We just got to keep working toward it. And it's I guess I'll finish with this. I'm not sure if you're on Instagram or if you've seen the meme on Twitter, but there's a gentleman, right? It's two pictures. He has the pickaxe in his hand and he's right by the diamond, and he gives up and he walks away. And then on the picture below that, right, is the dude with the pickaxe in his hand who's not stopping at all. And he's super far away from the diamond. The point is, like, yo, don't stop doing what you're doing. And the reason why I bring Addict up before, because I started to stop. I started to completely stop. Well, I can put it out there now, but I had a conversation with Erica, and I said, yo, I don't know if I want to do this, man. The results ain't where they should be, this, that, and the third. And this was before I linked up with y'all. This is like maybe like a month before. Not even 24 hours later, Addict comes out during Alan Lewis podcast. Y'all make sure y'all go follow Hustle and Motivate. And then I think like the following week, right after that, Cognito, I think he was looking for cast members, or he was looking for his people, and he couldn't find them at that point. Hey, Hustle, I might need you to come off the bench. Like, what that meant to me was, hey, not only am I doing something right, but that means I'm really starting to get the respect that I ain't gonna say that I'm looking for, but it means that I'm starting to earn the respect of my peers,
which recognition, is, right?
Yeah, and it's never about the money at this point. Like it ain't about the money. Like it's more about the respect. I just really want to make an impact. I have somebody who I wouldn't consider her necessarily a friend of mine, but somebody who I do follow, who I'm inspired by. Her name is Nate Saga. Her slogan is impact over numbers. And what that means is that, yeah, I can have 501 subs at the moment, but my voice is just as powerful as somebody with 1 million subs. And I want people to keep that in mind too. Like no matter how big or how small you are, like we are all people at the end of the day. So we just gotta, you can push. Your voice is just as important with the person with 10 subscribers as the person with 500, as the person with 100,000.
Yeah,
so on and so
because you can impact, even if it's one person, that's huge, right?
Yes, sir.
For them, but then also for you, because your impact may not have the scale of, like you were saying, ACG or something, but for that one person, it's significant. So you can't ever underestimate the impact. However far from the ultimate goal you are, right? The impact you can have with your words and with your actions and all that.
Indeed. This was fun. We gotta do this again sometime.
Gotta do this again, dude.
I'm with it.
I like your message, man. You got this kind of energizing presence. So
appreciate it.
Keep going, man, and we'll stay in touch. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
All right. Hey, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.